Hello, hello, and happy Monday, everybody. If we haven't met before, my name is Susan Tapley, and I am an independent designer with chalkboard. So tonight I'm going to be showing a technique that I've shown a few different times before, but it's always worth doing it again because every time I try it, it comes out a little bit different. And sometimes I totally flub up my lives, and that's okay because you learn from mine too. So hopefully this will be a good one. If you are just hopping in, please say hello and be sure to share this video so that others can see how much fun it is to use chalkboard products and how easy it is too. So welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm going to change up my cameras a little bit so that you can see my hand as well as me. And we are going to get this party started. Let's see, almost there. There we go. Let me move this down too. I'm just moving my website below. And I'll pop that up again later if you'd like to see it. Otherwise, you can find it up in the description down there, I guess, of this video. So, hello. I see I have a couple people here. Be sure to say hello. And if you are new, tell me where you're from because I love to know where people find me from. So, first of all, what we're going to do is we're going to get working with a brand new transfer that I thought was in stock in my online store. However, guess what? Hello, Annie and Michelle and Cindy. So I went and checked just before I went live to make sure this was still available. And believe it or not, it is not. So if you are interested in the transfer that I'm using tonight, please write transfer in the comments so that when it's available again, I can let you know and we can order it from there. So I wasn't quite prepared. I was running a little bit late tonight. I'm looking for my blade so I can cut this transfer apart. So this one is called Faith. It's a C size transfer, so that we have 4 different sizes: A, B, C, D, and E. A, B, C, D, E. There's 5. I can't count. Anyway, this is a C size transfer, so there are 2 larger and a couple smaller ones. But this is a really nice size to work with. This is a transfer that you will cut apart, and when that happens, there's usually a line right about here, which is what we're going to cut right now. And I just recently learned a different way to cut apart your transfers. Normally I would just stick my scissors and zip down the line, which is easy. But this way that I'm going to show you tonight, we're going to use a straight ruler and a blade with a little craft knife or an X-Acto knife or whatever you have. Just go just a little bit to the left and then a little bit to the right of the line that's drawn with your blade, trying not to cut all the way through the paper. It happens. Don't worry about it. This one I'm going to have to move down because it is a little bit bigger than my mat that I'm cutting on. So, why I like to do it this way is because instead of having 2 pieces in the envelope, because I returned them back to the envelope they came in, I just have 1 piece, and it's just easier to know where they go. It's easier to see what's in the package too. So get this cut apart. How are you guys doing tonight? We got some wet snow this afternoon. Didn't amount to much. Hopefully that's the end of it. I don't know for sure. Haven't been watching the weather. But it looks pretty wet out there, so I just hope it doesn't freeze tonight. Okay, so I've made a slice on either side of this line right here. And with a little bit of luck, it should pull up and leave us with a clean strip right across the middle. And it did. Yay! All right, so what we're going to use tonight is, I think we're going to use Faith Makes All Things Possible. And we're going to be using it on this beautiful Odette chalkboard. Now, earlier this afternoon, I had another design on here that I washed off. These are beautiful surfaces that are completely washable using our chalk paste. Just use a little bit of water, and I used my wonderful tool to scrape everything off, and then cleaned it even a little bit more with the board erasers, and it came off perfectly. And it was red and black, and you know how hard that can be to get off sometimes. All right, so before I put it on that surface, I'm going to get my fuzzing towel out. Since this is a brand new transfer that I've never used before, I'm going to peel the transfer off of the backing. And sometimes these are super, super sticky. This one's a bit sticky, so I'm definitely going to be careful and fuzz it well. You just peel it off the backing paper. pile of mess over there. And I'm going to just attach it to the towel, lifting it off and on a few times. And what that'll do is it'll pick up just a little bit of that fuzz from the towel, a little bit of lint, which will soften that sticky adhesive. Hello, Miss Cinda. I know. You never know what's going to happen with the weather these days. My husband and I are going to Maui in a couple of days, Saturday actually, and we are a little bit worried now because we thought it was going to be cold enough when we left so that it wouldn't be time to tap the maple trees, but now we're kind of wondering if we're going to miss it this year. My husband likes to collect maple sap from our trees and some of our neighbors' trees and boil it and boil it and boil it and boil it and make maple syrup. So we don't make a lot, just a little bit. We give it away to friends and family. But it's a lot of work actually. You have to go and collect all the syrup, and then we have to boil it and boil it and boil it and boil it and boil it until it turns into syrup, and it can take a long time. And it's like something like 12 gallons of sap makes 1 gallon of syrup, so there's a lot of work that goes into it, and it takes a long time to boil, hours and hours. So one of the cool things about this surface is that, look at that, my transfer fits perfectly. Da-da-da. No worrying about if it's straight or anything like that. So what we're going to do, first of all, I can see there's a hair right here. I seem to be losing some lately. Come on. Let's see if I can get that. I got it. I don't know, my hair's been a mess. My nails have been a mess. I'm a mess. There's another little something right there. So if you see something under your transfer, just a little piece of dust or something, if it's in the open screen area, be sure that you get it out. If it's in the blue area, that's okay. Not so bad. All right, we've got it. So let's smooth this out with my squeegee. I'm not going to worry about this part right now, but I'm going to focus on the floral area. And I believe these are peonies or peonies, depending on where you live. I always say that, but it's true. 40 gallons of sap. Hi, Stephen Tapley. It was 40 gallons of sap? Wow. I don't know. I was thinking it was 12. It's been like 2 years since we've tapped any trees, so who knows. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my gray chalk paste. This is called Storm. And if I can get it open, I'm bang it on the table a little bit. Okay. I'm going to take some of this chalk paste and put it in the lid of my jar. I left my spray bottle upstairs. Steve, if you were home, I would ask you to go get that for me. So I'm just going to put a little bit of that chalk paste in the lid of my jar, and I'm going to see if I can just get a little drop of water from my cup here. So we're going to mix that until we get kind of a watercolor consistency. But actually, I'm not going to use this right now. I might go back to this. I'm just going to use the paste as it is and just chalk the flower area. All right. Okay, so I've added a few drops of water, and I'm going to stir this up till it's nice and smooth and about the consistency of sour cream or cake batter, whichever you prefer is fine. I'm spattering here tonight. Let's get that off. What I get for not being prepared with my sprayer handy. Just clean that up a little bit. Okay, let's try that again. All right, let's get that stirred. If it gets a little bit thicker, just add a little bit of water. I added a little too much water because I don't have my spray bottle handy. So this feels a little thinner than I like it. In which case, I may actually use a different color. Plan B, guys. All right, we're going to go in with black instead. So what we're going to do is we're going to chalk the floral area with black and then come back and watercolor it with watered down chalk paste. So let's stir up the black. That's not bad at all. Okay, so I'm using a small squeegee, And all I'm going to do is cover this whole area, covering the leaves and the flowers. So grab your chalk paste, and if you are new to chalking, use a little bit more than you think you actually need, because all of the excess is going to get scraped off and go right back into the jar. And I ask you to leave it thicker because it dries slower that way. And you always want to remove your transfer while the paste is still wet, not dry. So just spread it out all over the area where the white is showing through, because that is where there's a very fine screen covering the whole design. So as soon as you have it covered, you go back over and scoop off all that excess. You should be able to see the design clearly underneath your chalk paste. If you can't, it means you either need to scrape a little bit more, and sometimes if you're using a certain color, especially our teal, it's very hard to see. Very hard to see the design through the transfer. Okay, that is done. So we're going to lift this off. And give it a pull. And it got a little bit of a bleed right there. But we can fix it. Alright, so I'm going to peel that off and just attach the transfer to my table right here. And I'm going to get a Q-tip and see if I can clean this up just a little bit. It's not terrible, but I see it. Sometimes it's easier to clean these up when they're dried, but try a little water on there. Okay, that'll take care of that, because we're going to cover this with another color anyway. Okay, so let's dry that up real quick with my heat tool. And then we will go in and do some watercoloring. So while this is drying, if you don't mind hitting that SHARE tab for me, I really appreciate that. We are almost dry already. And you absolutely could leave this design in just one color if you wanted to, but we're going to get fancy tonight. Okay. Looks good. So, as I was saying, I had a little bit of bleeding right here. So I'm going to use my detail tool. I'll bring this up a little closer. You can see there's a little point on the end of it. It reminds me of a dental pick, and it's perfect for scratching out extra chalk paste. So this is actually chalk. It goes on wet, it dries hard in just a couple of minutes, but it is removable, and one way that you can remove them is with this tool. It scrapes it right up. Okay, so now we're going to go into the painting. So the peonies in my yard are white and pink. And what I'm going to do is take my green, and just like I was doing with that gray earlier, the wrong color of course, is take a little bit of that green, and this one is called Eucalyptus. You don't need a lot, just put a little bit in the lid of your jar. Let's see if I can get some of that water. Not quite so much this time though. See if I can grab it on the end of my squeegee. A spoon would work too. Just going to water this down and thin it a little bit so it's more like a watercolor consistency. So stir it, stir it, and stir it. Still feels like it needs a little bit more. I'm going to put the cover on my block while I'm here. And we're going to start by watercoloring the leaves. I thought I put that paintbrush right here. Where did I put it? Oh, there it is. Okay. All right. So once you've got that kind of like watery, you're going to take your paintbrush and just kind of dip it in like you would with any kind of paint, and just start filling in between the lines. Now you don't have to worry about filling it solidly, because watercolor really isn't an exact art. It's kind of all over the place. And some of these little spots, I'm going to zoom in a little for you so you can see a little bit better. Some of these little spots are between black lines. So what I'm going to do is go over this again with the black after this is all dry, just to make sure that we've got all the detail that we're looking for. But I'm kind of trying to stay in the lines, but if you cross the lines, it doesn't really matter. It just doesn't matter. I'll do it on purpose, just so I can prove it. All right, let's see, I got a lot of chalk on here right now, so let's do a bigger area. It's good if you have a nice point on your brush, it really helps. Just kind of fill it in. Let me know if you guys have ever done this before. You ever watercolored with chalk before? I'm trying to decide if that's a leaf or this is part of the leaf. Sometimes it's hard to tell. But this looks like part of the leaf here. So yeah, tell me if you've watercolored before with chalk paste. And another big leaf here. And it's okay if it's lighter in some place and darker in others. That's the way watercolor looks, and it is more natural actually, especially for things like flowers and leaves. Okay, let's see. Let's go down here. A big leaf here. Doesn't take long to get this done. So the peonies that I have in my yard are, as I was saying, they're white, but they have kind of pink around the edges of the flowers. Sorry, I'm off camera here. So I'm going to try to kind of mimic that. I don't even know what other colors they come in. Do they come in other colors? And here's a leaf. Nope, Cindy, you haven't? A couple years ago we had a turkey project that we watercolored, which was pretty fun. They looked really cool. Can't think of what else we've done. I know I've done a few different projects though. So yeah, the brush that I have has a tip on it, so that is really helpful. Oops, I'm covering my lines here, but that'll be okay. We'll go back over it with the black after. You don't want to flood it so much that it makes puddles. So don't get your chalk paste too thin so that happens, because that can reactivate the black that you've already done and cause that to start bleeding all over the place. You don't want that. That goes there. I'm going really fast, you guys. Not really hard to do. All right, let's see what else we got. Here we go. This is a really beautiful transfer. I like both sides of it. You could even do like 2 of these boards and hang one over the other one. It would be really pretty. So you guys, I've been waiting to do the Club Couture transfer from this month. However, mine did not come in. It sounds like it got lost in the snowstorm in Texas somewhere. Still not here. Just ordered another one, but hopefully I'll get it before the March one comes out. If you are not a Club Couture member, those are my exclusive customers that get a B-size transfer, 3 chalk paste singles, they get sales, they get free catalogs, they get special prices on shipping, all kinds of cool things in Club Couture. And if you're not a member of that and would like some information, let me know and I'll send you my link so that you can read about it. It's a great club, especially when you get your transfers and they're not lost somewhere in Texas. Probably buried in a snowbank there, huh? All right. Oh, one more leaf right here. So far, so good, huh? I'm no Bob Ross, but I think it looks pretty decent. Okay. A little bit there and a little bit here I missed. Did I miss anywhere else? Okay, that looks pretty good. Pretty good. You got yours today? That's not fair. Designers usually get them a couple weeks earlier than our customers do, so we have a chance to plan what we're going to do with them. However, this month is not my lucky month for that. Absolutely not. Okay, let's go with the next color, which is peony. Believe it or not, we're doing peonies. All right, so I'm just going to scoop some of this back into the lid, just like before. I don't have very much of this left. It's another thing I've been waiting to get in order. And let's water that down again. My table just moved a little. Let's see how that looks. Yep, pretty good. Okay. I keep throwing things in my water glass by mistake. Don't take a drink. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of focus on the tips of the flowers and then see if we want to go any further with that. So here we go. It's kind of towards the outer edges. I'm just kind of leaving light strokes so that it goes into the flower and blends a little bit. What do you think? Should I leave it like that or should I make them more solid? Thanks, Tracy. We are doing watercoloring with chalk paste. So I need to decide, let's see, where's the top of this leaf? If we want to do a more solid flower or just have the tips of them in the pink color. I think I'm kind of feeling like they need more. So let's go. Maybe I'll go around the edges and see how that feels. And around the lines, maybe. Thank you for the sprinkle. Do appreciate that, you guys. Yeah, I like it. The more I add to it, the more I like it. There we go. All right, you guys aren't telling me. Should I put more pink on there or just leave it a mixture of pink and black? Tell me what you think. I'm just kind of going around the edges of the petals and anywhere that it would be kind of shaded, I guess. More pink, more pink, more pink. Okay. We will have more pink. All right, let me finish this flower and then we'll go back and add more to the other one. So I'll leave less white and more pink, I guess. I love pink flowers. That's my favorite color. Although I will take exception because sunflowers are my absolute favorite. What's your favorite flower? Tell me what that is. One year my daughter came home from brownie troop meeting with a little, you like the pink and black? Yeah, I do too. With a little pot with a sunflower seed in it. It was just barely sprouted, and we planted it in the backyard, and that thing grew to the second story window. It was unbelievable. So I'm going to pull this up closer when I'm done so you can see that I've crossed the lines all over the place. And when we go over it the second time with the chalk, it'll cover all of that. So you will see a lot more detail when I get there. This is so pretty. Yeah. Loving it. Gerber daisies, tulips, oh, I love tulips too. Daisies, yep. Love them all. But I especially like pink flowers. I always put pink in my gardens. If I can get them to grow, that is. I'm not very good at flowers. I always tell people I'm lucky my kids grew, because flowers and I, house plants, ugh, I try. I don't do it on purpose. Okay, let's go and give this one a little bit more, because you said it needed more pink. Okay, I'm leaving a little bit of white showing through it because I think it looks interesting. And then we'll dry this up and we'll go over it with black again. It's the craziest thing, but it really makes all the details pop when you do that. Tulips too, yep, they're adorable. I always like pansies in the spring. I thought they looked like kitten faces. These kind of look like kittens to me. All right, what do you think? All right, I'm going to pull it up so you can see it. Zoom, zoom, zoom. So there you go. My nice blotchy watercolor, and that's what I was looking for. All right, so let's dry this up a little bit. Looks like my camera's moving on me. Sorry, let's try that. There we go. Okay, let's get this dried, and we will carry on. Dahlias, yeah. So because we're going to be doing layering, we want to make sure that this is really, really dry. A couple places have thicker chalk on them, so I'm really making quite sure those are like right there. Thank you. Alright, I'm going to put this to the side for a minute and zoom you back out so you can see what I'm doing next. But so far, this is coming out really cute. Alright, so let's move that aside. And I'm going to get my transfer out. And because I should have cleaned this right away. I don't know what I was thinking. But we're going to clean this up a little bit. Where is my water bottle? Goodness gracious. Alright, guys. Hang in there for 1 minute while I run upstairs and get my water bottle. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. So I'm going to wet this down. We're going to clean it up a little bit before we re-chalk those flowers. This is going to make a mess on my table, so you know. Thanks, you guys. All right, let's clean this up a little bit. We want to make sure that we get all that dried stuff out of the screen so that we can get all the details back in the design. Told you it was going to get messy. So you can do it like this with water. You can do it with a baby wipe, not a baby wipe, a disinfectant wipe. Actually, don't use baby wipes because they have alcohol in them and they can damage your transfers. Normally I would take this to my sink and clean it up. But that would leave you lonely, right? Now let's get the back a little bit. Almost there. I need an assistant next to me to clean these when I'm working on something else, huh? That would be nice. All right, one more clean of the front. We are good to go, I think. And we'll make sure it's nice and dry. So you guys, while I'm cleaning this up, tomorrow is an important day because on my website, all those bunnies and cutting boards and trucks and drying tools are going to be live on my website. Finally! They're finally back. Make sure this is nice and dry. So if that's something you've been waiting for, I am going to order some for my local people to have in my shop, and I'm thinking about some bunny classes for sure, so let me know if you want me to order you some, or if you want to get them yourself, that's fine too. All right. Now, get all this dirty paper towel out of here, and we're going to lay this right back on top where it was before. It's pretty easy to do. Be a little patient with yourself. Usually it's pretty easy, I should say. Let's see. Here. Except for tonight, of course. Bear with me. I think I got it. Looks pretty good. Got a little something under here though. Pull that up. See what it is. It feels like something huge when it's probably a little tiny piece of dust. Okay. No, it doesn't want to go back. All right, that's about it. All right, we're going to go back over this with black, and I'm also going to do the word faith. I think I should do makes all things possible in a different color, or should I use black on that too? What do you think? So you recall after you re-chalk, yes. Yes. It doesn't quite feel like it's in the exact place I want it to be down here. Must have stretched it a little bit or something. All right, I'm lifting it all up. It's got to be right. I'm trying to line up the thicker parts where they look like they go, which is right here. Done. Okay. I'm looking at the points of the leaves. That seems to be the easiest place to make sure that it's in the right spot. Okay, so we're going to go right over this, and I'm going to do faith. I guess I'm going to do makes all things possible in this color also. All right, so here we go. Remember that we fuzzed it really well, so hopefully it won't pull up the chalk that we'd put underneath it, the watercolor. So let's just pull this over. This kind of makes almost like a stained glass window effect, the way that the layers work when you're watercoloring. I haven't done this in a while. Maybe Christmas, I think I did something. So again, I'm scooping up the excess and putting it in. Back in the jar. Oh, looks like I have all kinds of little bumps under there. What in the world? All right, and we'll do Faith. And makes all things possible. Oh, Tracy, too late, baby. Next time. I like to use neutrals like black, white, browns, because they go with everything. They go with anybody's decor too. So hold your breath and cross your fingers and see if this worked well. Ta-da! It looks really good, you guys. Love it. Tracy, like a second too late. I didn't see your comment in time. So what do you think? Let me pull that up closer. There we go. I love the way this looks. So we have a lot of different transfers that have like, it's like a sketch that you can fill in watercolor just like this. There's another one for Easter, which is an A size, and I cannot think of what it's called at the moment. He is risen, maybe. There's a large floral one that you could do this with. There's lots of different ones that you could watercolor with. So you've got to try it one of these times when you're out chalking. All right. Oh, thank you, Sharon. Thanks, guys. So again, this transfer called Faith is not available in my online store tonight. However, it may be coming back tomorrow. I will have to check the restock list. But if you are interested in this, please put transfer in the comments and I can let you know when it is available if you would like one. Or if you have any questions about anything I did tonight, let me know. If you are interested in that VIP Club Couture group that I mentioned, put VIP, put club in the comments. And if you thought what I do is fun and you'd like to try working as a designer like I am, either for a hobby or for a business, I'd love to hear about that too. So just write business or something to that effect that I'll recognize in the comments and I can get you some information. So that is all that I have for tonight. Thank you, Tracy. You're so sweet. Transfer, Michelle, I'll let you know as soon as I hear they're available. This is gorgeous. Let me show you the other part of it in case you missed it earlier. This is a 2-part transfer, and it also comes with this as well, which says, Trust in the Lord. So look how these would be stacked one on top of another. Whoops. Sorry, making you dizzy. Can't go back that far. So you could stack one of these boards on top of another one and have both of these. That would look so pretty. All right, that's what I have for you tonight. I will be back tomorrow with another fun project for you. So be sure to watch my Facebook posts and I'll let you know what time and give you a little hint about what our project's going to be. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight. Great to see you, and I will see you again soon. Stay safe. The roads can be bad tonight, so be very careful. I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.